just some things that I've discovered after teaching some people about decaling in a clinic at our Marlboro Club. So first of all, notice that I just put water on the car. I'm not putting the micro-set. This is the micro-set here. I'm not putting that on the car. We were having too many instances where the decal would start to melt before we got it into place. So I'm going to put the decal right in place with water. And this is going to be a little bit more difficult car to do. As you can see, I've got an example right there. Because we have these ribs, I've got to run the lettering up over them. So getting this straight is going to be a challenge. All right, so there I have the NE on Arlington Electric. And I've already scored the decal so that I have the LE, CT, and then RIC. I'm going to do the left word, the right-hand word first. Totally up to you whether you want to go left to right, right to left, but I like to start at the center. I know that'll give me the spacing I want. I'm just going to let that sit in the water for a little bit until I get everybody in place. Or at least, yeah, I'm going to start with the electric. I left it at the E. Now, because I have these all in one piece, I'm going to pick the decal off the paper carefully. They like to fold over when you do that, so be very careful doing it. And I need a couple more drops of water. Now, you might notice, looking at the finish on this car, I'm not really that keen on, it's not very glossy. It's pretty dull. But the clear finish was starting to eat into the plastic, and so it was making it craze. And that's not good either. So what I think what's going to happen is we're going to have to put multiple coats of micro-set after the initial. Okay, so now I have electric in place. I want to get them roughly in line. And that's pretty rough right now. I hope this is clear on the camera. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sop up these. Next, I'm going to sight down the car and see. And I like it to do it from both directions. That looks pretty darn close. The fact that the decal is bubbled up in a little bit of water, a little puddle of water in each spot, does tend to distort what you see when you sight down the car. So I'm going to check again. I'm not sure that I can show this on the camera. I'll give it a try. But what I'm trying to do is just sight right down the side of the car and see if the letters are lining up. You might be able to see it just from the camera from right here. It looks to me like the C and Rick is a little bit low. All right, now I'm going to take the Micro-sol and I'm going to put a drop beside each decal. Try not to touch it. And then I'm going to use the other decal, put the other decal in the water while I'm talking here. Then take my piece of paper towel and dab just to the bottom like that. The idea is to draw the Micro-sol underneath the decal. I'm not trying to absorb it. I'm trying to absorb the water that's underneath there right now. Boom. So hopefully now you can see that the decals are all sitting in a little bit of, hopefully, the setting solution, or the Micro-sol, I should call it. I keep going back to the old name. And I'm going to put water down this way for the Arlington lettering.
You notice I'm not touching the rest of the letters because they've already been hit with the Micro-sol. So now I'm going to hopefully not touch the decal. Just get it just on the edge. Ah, did you notice how that just floated? Son of a...
What I do is, when I'm doing a car like this with lots of lettering, best to start at the top, work your way down. I usually start up at the top, and then I come over here and I go from right to left. So I'm going to do, I was just going to do the wood chip service. I don't know. Maybe I'll do, yeah, I think I'll do the wood chip service. Just to be clear, I'm slicing all the way through the paper, just under the white line. And I've got a, now I'm just going to score the decal itself, not the paper, just lightly. So that excess material won't be on the decal sheet. I can cut off a box. Hopefully you can see that I just scored the clear finish on the decal paper, but not through the paper. I'm going to put this in the water. And like I did with the other section, notice how I put it in the water. It's all soaking wet, the paper is. Now I'm just going to let it sit here on my mat while the paper continues to absorb water and melt away the adhesive that's between the lettering and the decal paper.
After I do wood chip service, I think I'll do here, here, and here. And maybe that, I don't know. I might wait on that. Okay, so I need ready kilowatts. Again, cutting all the way through the paper. And I don't worry about getting right up to ready. I'm just trying to get around him.
That's another thing I don't know if I mentioned with the caboose decaling. I usually put the decal in the water with the decal facing up and let it float. Okay, at this point, I don't know if you need to see much more. I'm gonna next do this lettering here and over here because they're right close to each other on the decal paper. I do both of them at the same time. Then once those are in place, I'll do the AELX and the capacity data. So I will bring you back. I think what I'll do is when the Micro-sol, when the Micro-sol is all dried, I'll bring you back. By the way, again, if I didn't mention it in the previous video, you're going to see the decal crinkle up. You're going to see things, it's going to look kind of funky. You can see some wrinkles here in Ready Kilowatt. Let it happen. Just stand back and let it do its thing. It'll be 15 minutes to a half an hour. It'll be dry. See you then. Well, it's been a little bit over an hour. Let's see what we've got. I can see right off the bat, we've got some air bubbles right there on the E and between D and C on woodchip surface. If you look carefully, you shouldn't have to look too carefully. It's kind of silvery right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some of the Micro-sol and I'm just going to put it over the decal. And if you look, it's all along there. When I do that, see how it's all silvery in here? Now the Micro-sol is being pulled onto the decal, so it's the silvery color goes away. It's right there on the W. See how it's all silvery? And if I just take the tip of my knife. Just let that Micro-sol work its way under the decal. So that whole section was pretty much all air bubbles. Now it looks like there's some silver spots like right in here. Definitely right in here on ready. Right there. See how right by his foot there's a silver area right there. Hope that's showing up on the camera. And I'm just going to check all the decals because we seem to be getting a lot of air bubbles. So all I'm doing, I'm just going to brush over gently, and you look right in there, right there by his elbow. That's an air bubble. It was run right there by his foot. Gone now. And I think I mentioned that there was going to be some air bubbles along the rivet line right there. Wasn't too bad. Okay, so Ready Kilowatt is theoretically all set. I want to look over here. Let me just, oh boy, I see some of the Arlington Electric too. Yep, look right there. See how it's silvery? All I'm going to do is just brush over the top of it. Oh, the whole thing. You can see how the Micro-sol is being drawn in underneath there, and it turned black. There's still a bubble right there. Right there. Let's check the AELX. Yep, right there. Between the L and the X. And by the time I get my knife over here, it's already gone. Right there, there was a bubble.
What's the big deal, you might ask? If I were to put clear finish over this, those air bubbles would all show up as silver spots, areas. Now I'm seeing right there, I think this whole RIC has got issues.
Well, it's been about 3/4 of an hour. And here's our victim here. Let's take a look at how it came out. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put more decal solution on. I'm going to use the solver set. This stuff here. Get my hand out of the light. I'm just going to brush some on. This likes to bead up. Doesn't spread out very well. But you get the idea. Oh, it looks like there's a bubble right there in the R, between the A and the R. Okay, my knife is over here. Right there. Right there. And I think I see one on the I right there. Over here on the end. Anybody else? Anybody else? I'm not seeing any others. I should have mentioned before I forget that Arlington Electric is a fictional electric utility, if you will, in a town on our layout called Arlington, oddly enough. And while Arlington is a actual town in Vermont, we didn't model the town of Arlington. It's kind of a fictional city, town, downtown, Maine engine facility and yard on our layout. We're going to have wood chips going from a wood chip processing area to a wood-fired electrical generating facility on the layout. So that's the story behind Arlington Electric. And Ready Kilowatt, well, look up Ready Kilowatt on Google. Tell you all about Ready. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up down there somewhere. And if you have any suggestions or comments or questions, I do read them all, and I do usually respond to them. So please leave them down below too. Have a good day, and have fun with your modeling. Bye for now.